Hey everybody, Anish Majumdar here, career coach to the fiercely ambitious. How many times have you heard this phrase? Man, I never saw it coming. I thought things were going well. I thought I was doing my work well. I don't know what happened. And the hammer just dropped, and now I don't know what to do. Now I got to somehow make this, horrible occurrence a positive, right? And I got to find my way out of it, and I got to find that next role because I just got fired. I don't know what I did wrong, and I don't know what to do next. I don't ever want you to be stuck in that situation. I've seen too many people, too many good, deserving, hardworking people get screwed over that way because they weren't attuned to what they should be looking for and what they should be aware of. Okay, so I want to share some best practices that each and every one of us needs to know as we're making our way out there, okay? Being forewarned is being forearmed here because at the end of the day, as crazy as it sounds, it may seem like, me getting fired is threw my whole career out of whack and I don't know what to do. That's not true. If you could see the signs earlier, you could change things, you could adapt, you could avoid things getting to that horrible point in a lot of ways at your present employer. And if you know that, okay, it's heading for a place that it's not going to work, you're going to have the leeway, you're going to have the mental and emotional leeway to create a path before getting fired, before passively having to react to a horrible occurrence. So what are some things that you should specifically be aware of? Okay, I want to go through a couple of ones, okay? Number one, all right, what's your workload at? When you started out, you were doing, running 100 miles an hour, and the biggest fear was, am I somehow going to be able to get this all in, right? Now the workload is diminished, and maybe there's a whole bunch of good reasons for it. Maybe when they took that 20 or 30% of your workload away, they were promising you it's going to be replaced shortly by another initiative or another project, but that project never materialized. Maybe it was, hey, we think you're going to be better placed doing this instead of X, and we're going to take that away. Maybe it has 50 different reasons, but at the end of the day, if you are dealing with a startlingly lesser workload than what you did when you started there, and no one's making any signs of filling that or redressing that, you need to seriously look at that. My personal opinion would be call that right out. Have an honest conversation with your boss. Let them know, look, I got bandwidth here. And what I want to know is I want to get clear on where our goals are here. What are your main priorities right now? And what can I do to sort of backfill that in, okay? I want to contribute at a higher level. I don't feel like I'm being used to my maximum potential here. And I want us to be able to properly use this. What do you suggest? What would your ideas be? Okay, so be upfront about that. Call that out. Do not take that tempting voice inside that says, hey, I'm pulling something off. You know what I mean? Like I'm working 30% as hard as I was, a few years back or even a few months back. Don't accept that, okay? No one that we want to stick around for a long time, we're never good with being like, they're doing half as much as they could. We want to maximize our investment. The only reason we would think otherwise is because we know that shortly this person is not an investment and this person, in fact, has become a liability. That is the only reason. So nip this in the bud if you see this emerging, okay? Next, you're habitually getting sidelined, right? And there's less and less communication happening. So the big meetings, they're going on without you. And maybe they got all the good reasons in the world, A lot of corporate environments are very good at BS. They are very good at essentially lying to you and making it sound like something that you want. But if you're not plugged in, if you have to hear secondhand about the big moves that are happening at this company, you are not playing a role in its future. You are chaff. You're basically extra weight that those people who are actually moving the needle have to somehow bear along. And I promise you their patience will run thin at some point, okay? So what is a key here? Start updating. Start updating other members of your team on a weekly basis. Start updating your boss on a weekly basis if things are really bad and you guys are barely talking. Update your boss on a monthly basis no matter what. And what are you doing? I'm not saying at the end of a busy month, come up with a whole presentation on an email. No, it can be very simple. It can be a 6-line email. Hey, I just want to apprise you. Here are the major priorities that me and my team are looking at. Here are some of the major problems that we've solved. Here's what we're looking at for the next month. Would love to know your input on this. And just listen. Look, here's the big trap. We all say to ourselves, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to work and my hard work is going to speak for itself. That is not the world that we live in. Okay? The success for you is not the 100 things that you're doing, but the 3 or 4 things that your boss, your superiors, the people that you need to influence and move up, what do they consider to be important? What do they consider to be valid? And a big reason people get fired is they're working their butts off on things that ultimately don't matter at that level. They don't care how well you do that. They never did. Maybe they said that it was important, but they haven't backed it up with their actions. And you being unaware of that means that on a month-by-month basis, you are failing in their eyes, or you're disappointing in their eyes. So alignment is key. If you've been sidelined, the problem is alignment and communication. You've got to take a couple of steps immediately if you're in this situation to correct for that, okay? And obviously, what I'm suggesting here, these are also best practices, right? When you think of the solutions here, these are the best practices to have when you're starting a new role to avoid this happening, or at the very least to know you've done everything possible. You've controlled your world enough to make sure that this is not going to happen. Okay. Next, no matter what you, your team, your people are doing at a role. Okay. Sorry to have to be the one to say this. If your division is losing money habitually, prepare to get fired. And what I mean by prepare to get fired, ramp up a job search right now. Start building relationships right now. Start rebranding yourself at that higher level right now, okay? No genius on planet Earth has ever been able to solve that, okay? If your division, if your group is fundamentally either losing money or the company itself is in a kind of contraction mode where they just feel that the best thing to do is focus on the fundamentals that got them there and avoid anything outside the immediate circle, and you're outside the immediate circle, you need to immediately prepare to ramp up your career efforts. There is no way long-term that is going to be feasible. None, no matter what they tell you, okay? I actually recently worked with a client. He came from a finance background, working with a healthcare company. The pandemic and everything strikes. His division, which was exploring new initiatives, right, was the only one that was making money. His division was the first to be cut. Stupid? Absolutely. Moronic? Absolutely. No one ever said executives were geniuses. They're human beings like everybody else. But the decision that came down was, we got to focus on priorities. We can't afford this outlay of cash. So he was gone. So be aware, okay? When I say ramp up, here's what I also want to say. If you're employed right now, no one knows what's going on when it comes to these areas, right? The whole world doesn't know that you're out of alignment. The whole world doesn't know that you've been marginalized or disappointed, or you're just at a place where that's not working, which means that you will never have more leverage than you do right now. Use that leverage. Right? Get things like your brand, your networking, the exploration of these opportunities, the negotiation of these opportunities. Make that your number one priority. Get yourself safe and secure with a full universe of opportunities in front of you, and then watch what happens. Then also watch how much more honestly you can deal with situations in a less than perfect job. Because trust me, the universe starts perking their ears up when they realize this guy, this woman, they are moving forward no matter what. They are moving forward towards impact and greater change no matter what. You can either get on board or you can get off board, but this is happening. And that is not in any employer's ability to control. It is in your ability to control. Okay? Hope this has been helpful. If you want to go further down the rabbit hole of my videos, I encourage you to go to helloanish.com, HELLOANISH.com. I've got more trainings there. I've got a masterclass completely free that you can take that will teach you the 5 shifts that I teach my clients to get them out of the job search trap forever and get them generating their own opportunities over and over and over again. Do not give up. Do not listen to the naysayers. Keep being absolutely bold. Time is finite. Your ambitions deserve the day. Talk to you soon.